What's going on, family? We back, episode 3, 5 minutes with Foe. I'm gonna keep the name, man. I like the name. I know it's more like 15. We just consider it 5 minute segments. How about that? But today, I tell you like this. Heute ich spreche mit euch über Veränderung, Entschiedung. So today, what I want to talk to you guys about is choices and change. People reach out to me. You know, I talk to people via DM, via Messenger, via whatever it may be, and I still get a lot of questions, and it's almost, it's a lot of curiosity, and something stuck on my brain about, why people may do some of the things that may do, or why they may choose to remain in a certain situation, even though it may not be the most beneficial. Maybe, fear of the unknown, maybe, you know, a level of comfort. We all get comfortable. We are creatures of habit, but that habit can become detrimental to our development. And the fact that we are comfortable, the fact that we know what to expect out of that is enough for us to deal with it. So today, I just want to get with y'all about that. And people ask my advice on things a lot of times, and I always tell people the same things, man. I don't feel comfortable giving people advising on their own life, because I'm a forever working process myself. I can only tell you what I might do in that same situation or a situation similar to that. So with that, we're gonna start with choices. Okay, here we go. Choices. I've never been one afraid to make a hard choice and do something that I felt was better for me personally. I've been doing it all my life. Fast track back in history, I'm an East Side baby. I was raised in Watts. Me and my brothers, we had to walk from our house to Russell Elementary when we was kids. To fill you in, I grew up in Eastside Bishophood. Those are my homies, that's my family. But I went to school in the belly of the beast, right in between 7, 6, 8, 9 East Coast and Kitchen Crips. They knew exactly where we was coming from. 2 or 3 days a week, we was getting into it. Literally fighting. 3 out of the 5 days a week I went to school, fist fights. Check the records, ask my parents, they'll tell you. Thanks to my mom, she saw a track that I was heading on and said that she wasn't gonna have it. So when I got up out of Russell, she put me on a bus and sent me out to the valley. That was my real first look at Wonderland. I went from the neighborhood and everything you can imagine. I'm cut from a cloth where you couldn't wear Raiders gear to school or Kings gear to school. Anybody from my era knows what Kings stand for. I still don't wear K-Swiss, because of where I'm from. But I get out to the valley, Northridge, California, 1989, 1990, and I go from being around the hood to being around mansions, gated communities, Beamers, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, the whole nine. And this is just regular life to these people. I'm running into folks that, they go on real family vacations. They hop on planes and go across the country to different countries. And just hearing this kind of talk from out of a person's mouth was shocking to me. So I changed, that's where I met my crew, the Lowe's. Before Lowe's, we all started as PHP. And all my people that went to Nobel know what that is, if you remember. But yeah, that's where I met my crew, Lee, Fade, the homie T. That's where we got together. I met other friends out there, from other necks of the woods, like my boy BJ. We got to see other things. And it got me to thinking, because I spend all day out here in Wonderland, but I got to get back on a bus and go deal with the hood politics. Fast forward out of that, when we left there and went to high school, my boys, they wanted to go to Westchester. That's where all the females were, understandably. But football was going to be my ticket, I felt, at that point in time, and my brother was already at Taft. So, I was able to convince my crew that we should go to Taft. Thank God they went with me, and luck have it, the homie T was already up there. My brother was already there. Then I met more homies, my big homies. That's still my big homies, Rollo, Jesse, cats like that showed me the way when I first got there. But my crew came with me. We met other people too, people from the hood that was on the bus just like us. But, we got a chance to run into some other cats. That's where I met my brother Rizzo, still my brother to this day. But we got to see different, kids is pulling up 15 years old, brand new Beamers, brand new Benzes, brand new. I'm talking fresh off the lot. And my biggest thing was, how can I get this? I see how people living out here, again, mansions and gated communities and, maids and, all that, babysitters, all that type of stuff. I want to know how I get it. So a lot of times when I was staying at a friend's house for the weekends, these big gaudy places, while they out downstairs playing, might be in a pool or something, I'm in there talking with a parent on, how can I get this? So like I say, I saw different. Out of high school, I remember my boy Ab. What up, Ab? He came to me. We were in home ec or art class or something like that. As seniors, we were getting ready to graduate. He was asking me what I was going to do next year, and if nothing fell through, I was going to go off to Chapman University in Orange County. Real expensive. Cost more to USC. Cost more to Cal. But I didn't feel I was ready for a 4-year just yet. I don't want to get ate up. So he told me he was going to Moore Park. And he said, I need somebody out there with me that I know that I can trust. So if you ain't made a choice, then you can come with me. He already had stuff lined up for himself, a place to stay and all of that. And he said he was going out there. So a couple of days later, we jumped into Malibu. If y'all remember the 78 Malibu, we hopped into Malibu and we pushed out to Moore Park. I did all my paperwork and we did it. I came home and told my parents that, I was going to college. They didn't know what the hell was going on, but that fateful day, the day that I left, I was packing up the uncle's truck. He let Pops borrow it to push me out there. I packed up a trash bag full of clothes, a duffel bag, and a radio, and I was gone. A lot of people don't know I slept in the film room for the first 2 weeks until I could find a space of myself, or until I made a name. And, the head coach was like, okay, I'll put you here. But that was a choice I made because it was the only way that I saw to get up out of there. I didn't see me being able to do what I do, staying in the neighborhood. So I did that. Fast forward past that, our sophomore year, we made a pact. Me and my bro Ab, we was at the 500 block. We created the 500 block. We had cats like Ty Bud, my boy Tyrell, Miguel Rath, what's up, Ty? People like D-Roy, my boy Big Don, my brother Twan and Rizzo, they came our sophomore year. But we made a pact. We was gonna hold each other accountable. We was gonna make sure that we did make it out of there. Because anybody that's been through the junior college circuit know it's not an easy track. So, thanks to a lot of hard work and hustle, all of us made it out. Both of my boys, D-Roy and Ab, got master's degrees. It's crazy. My dude Ab is straight from the PJs. But I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all my brothers that made it out, that kept that promise and made themselves into a better person. Myself, when I left Moore Park, I didn't really have that very many options because I was still a small player. And I had a lot of schools literally tell me, you too small to play. And I was probably going to end up back at Chapman because the head coach there had been keeping an eye on me. And unbeknownst to me, he had been talking to my pops on the regular. So leave it to those two. I was already enrolled and ready to go. But at the 11th hour, I got the call and I got offered the scholarship in Missouri. My pops, he wanted me to stay in Cali. He was like, I want you, I want to see you play. I want the whole family to be able to come and see you play just like we was in Moore Park. But like I say, it was the difference between, $30,000 a year or free. And I took free. And it was an opportunity for me to get out and kind of test my own mettle and see what I was made of and see if I could really make it really on my own, 1,500 miles away in a whole nother state where I didn't know anybody. So me and my brother Muss, what up Muss, I found out that they saw me on his highlight tape and they had a spot and, that's how I got it. So shouts out to him. I don't think I would be able to prepare for that recommendation. But we went out there, loaded up the Explorer, we got out there. got out there and, we met more people. We met people like my coach, Matt Williamson, who was my D-line coach as a graduate assistant. Now he's the head coach there. Met people like Rick Meckel, Switchblade. Yeah, I still remember we call you Switchblade. My boy LT, who helped me a lot with my body transformation and getting back in shape. That's where I met my bros, my frat, my Sigmas. We was able to do something monumental and charter our own chapter. That's something that'll never be taken from us. Anywhere you go on that campus, you'll see the display case with our names on it. So I was able to do a whole lot of things to prove to myself that I was actually capable of doing some things. Some of the jobs that I held down, working at hotels and creating things out of brand new situations just proved to me that I can do that. So long story short, those are some of the choices that I made for myself. When it comes to making choices for my development, I just got to look at me because, one thing my parents told me is, good to nobody else if you ain't no good to yourself. So you got to be able to take care of yourself before you can take somebody else. And so that's the choice that I made. So that's what I try to tell people, man. When they wonder why they think it's weird, I made the choice to move out here. It's just, like I said in the first video, it's an opportunity. I made the choice for the better opportunity for my family. This is something that's going to help us out in the long run. So that's what we did that. I hope that helped y'all out a little bit. And, now we're going to get to the second segment. Okay. We talking about change. Okay. This is the last little bit I'm going to give you. And like I said, I'll let y'all get back to your lives. Like I said, I do this for y'all, man. I hope it helps. And I hope it helps you see a better picture. And I hope it's in some form or fashion that it helps you in a way. If you stuck in a dilemma, if you're on the fence about something, whatever it may be, a job, a relationship, a lifestyle change, a life change, if you're thinking about moving and exploring new territories, I just hope this helps you. But change is good, if you recognize. If you're smart enough to recognize that a situation that you're in may not be beneficial, then you should be brave enough to change it. Like I said, we are creatures of habit, and we get stuck in routines. And a lot of routines are good, but there's some routines that are cyclical, take you nowhere, and there's some routines that slowly send you on a downgrade. Somewhere where you don't want to be. It could cause whatever, mental stress, physical torment. Like I said, it could be a bad relationship. It could be a horrible boss. It could be a job that's just working you to death. And in your heart of hearts that you need to make this change, but the fear of the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen. You comfortable, although the cons is outweighing the pros, but the pros is pro enough to actually keep you there. I've been there. I work for companies in my life where my abilities and my talents were taken advantage of, and the things that they loved me for when they hired me ended up being the things that made me a threat or a target. Or an influencer, as they say. I've been in these situations. I walked away from companies, and I've seen the look in their faces when they thought I was crazy. I heard the talk when I decided to start my own company, and then I seen the look in people's faces when the clothes I started creating was being distributed out of 12 to 17 countries. I got receipts. So the change is never easy, but if you put the work in and you believe in yourself enough and you know yourself better than anybody else does, or you just that good at lying to the mirror, change is going to always be good. You just got to be brave enough, and you got to have the wherewithal to stick through it. You got to be weary of the ones who they may be cool, but they'll call you crazy for leaving something. Maybe it may be good for them, or maybe it's a better situation than them, and they can't see themselves doing it. So if they can't see themselves doing it, they're not going to be the ones to help you. I always tell Bossy this. Don't be in a rush to impress people just to try to have a friend. Do what you like to do, and then along that track, you're going to eventually find people that like to do that stuff too. And then those become allies. Those later may become friends or colleagues or whatever it may be. So if you're thinking about something, I mean, take the change. Take the chance to make that change because it can only benefit you. I mean, what's the use of staying in that situation? You know, I got out. If y'all follow my Facebook feeds, I mean, every day is coming to revelation that, you know, everything that was going on with us as a people of color and you know, police this and the streets that, you know, it's just I care too much. I mean, I've helped too many young men, you know, in my life get out of bad situations just because somebody saw something in me to help me. I wanted to give that back. And so I care too much about senseless stuff happening to people, and it bothers me to my core. So, you know, I had to take myself out of that and make the change for me. And is making me better. I know it's making me better. You know, people tell me all the time when they talk to me, man, you look happy, or you look more relaxed, you look happy. So it must be doing something good. So if you're thinking about it, if you're fearful about it, you know, you got to take the leap. You know, you'll never know. Like they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So if you got questions, drop the line. You know how to get in touch with me. I'm still on Facebook. They got Messenger. I'm on the Twitter. I'm on Instagram. BIG_PHO, BIG_PHO on all social platforms. I don't change my name for nobody. I'm still gonna be Big PHO for the rest of my life. So if you got questions, you need to reach out, talk to me. I'm always here, baby. I gotta get the class, y'all. I gotta get this language down so I can get this hustle going. All right, love y'all.